These are the hidden sayings that the living Jesus spoke and Didymus Judas Thomas wrote down. Saying 1, true meaning. And he said, whoever discovers the meaning of these sayings won't taste death. Saying 2, seek and find. Jesus said, whoever seeks shouldn't stop until they find. And when they find, they'll be disturbed. And when they are disturbed, they'll be amazed and reign over the all. Saying 3, seeking within. If your leaders tell you to look, the kingdom is in the heavens, then the birds of heaven will precede you. If they tell you it's in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is within you and all around you. When you know yourselves, then you'll be known. And you realize that you are the children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you will live in poverty and you will become that poverty.
Now, what are the meanings of these things which I read? Firstly, these are sayings in the book of Thomas. This book was found amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were hidden in a cave near the site where the Essenes used to reside. And Jesus the Christ belonged to this Essene brotherhood. And Thomas, popularly known as the Doubting Thomas, wrote down these hidden sayings of Jesus Christ. And this book was hidden amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls because at the time of the compilation of the Bible by Emperor Constantine, some books were thrown away, some were hidden, and some were burnt, so as to maintain the supremacy of the church. So I'm just going to unravel the first 3 sayings out of the 114 sayings. The first saying is true meaning. And he said, whoever discovers the meaning of these sayings won't taste death. What does that mean? Does it mean that the person will not die physically? The body may die, but the spirit is eternal. The soul tries to be as perfect as the Spirit of God. And when the soul personality comes to the realization that it is one with the Spirit of God, that consciousness becomes one. Even if the physical body dies, the consciousness still continues. In that realization, spirit never dies. It is fear that makes people not to be able to attain that thing. And because of the pleasures of the flesh, that's reasons why the soul personality, the person, is not able to realize this oneness with the Spirit of God. So let me continue with saying number 2. Saying 2, which is seek and you shall find. Jesus said, whoever seeks shouldn't stop until they find. And when they find, they will be disturbed. And when they are disturbed, they will be amazed and reign over the all. What does this mean? When you seek and find the truth, it is like an awakening of sorts. It is as if you've escaped the proverbial matrix. Indeed, you'll be disturbed because you don't think the way majority of people do. In short, you may even enter into depression because you have realized the truth, and which many people do not see. And when you try to relate this truth to them, you become ridiculed in the process. But you see, in order to escape this kind of depression, you have to practice this truth you have experienced. And when you practice this truth you have experienced, you become amazed because you will now see that you're able to reign over the all, over even the elements themselves. This is because you have realized the truth and you are now one with the Spirit of God to be able to do things which many people cannot do, and to be able to see things which many people cannot see. So even when you try to relate the truth and people are ridiculed, forget about them. Try as much as you can to say your truth, but practice this truth which you have realized. So let me talk about saying number 3. So the meaning of saying 3, which is seeking within. Jesus said, if your leaders tell you, look, the kingdom is in the heavens, then the birds of the heaven will precede you. If they tell you it's in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is within you and outside of you, that is all around you. So what does this mean? You see, in truth, the kingdom of heaven is within us and all around us. But the realization starts from within. It cannot be in the skies, because that means the birds of the skies, which are close to the heavens, will actually get to heaven before you. Or no, is it in the sea? Because that means that the sea, the fish in the sea, would get to heaven before you. but we are actually a microcosm of the macrocosm of creation. What does this mean? You see, ourselves replicate the giant swellings of the stars in the heavens, in the universe, and also the tiniest atoms in creation. If that intelligence which controls the stars and even the tiniest atoms fashions that same pattern inside of our beings, then that means that the intelligence is within you and me. And that intelligence is controlled by our thoughts and by our emotions. Because if your thoughts and words and actions are balanced and in harmony, we're able to attract good things to ourselves. We're healthy. But if they are not balanced, we tend to fall sick. Everything around us will be failure because our words, our thoughts are not in harmony, because we are a divine spark of God. Jesus Christ further said, when you know yourselves, you will be known, and you will realize that children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you will be in poverty and you become that poverty. What does this mean? When you know yourselves, you can never be in poverty. All your needs will be met, you'll be flowing in a kind of divine synchronicity because you will attract whatever you need at the right time. But you have to be disciplined enough to know yourself, to be able to put in work to know yourself, and to be able to attract those things you want. This is because you are now one with God and you're able to attract those things you want to yourself. It starts with our thoughts and our emotions. The emotions that we have is a catalyst for these things to happen. We think what we want, have good thoughts, have good emotions, you'll be flowing in sync, and then things will begin to flow for you and you will not be in poverty. So I just say, let me just share these first 3 chapters of the book of Thomas, which was suppressed by the early church because of these powerful truths. You can get this book on the internet, or you need to just go search for the book of Thomas, the hidden words that Jesus spoke, which was recorded by Thomas Didymus. Thank you very much and stay blessed.